I didn't think this guy could sink any lower, but he somehow managed to do so. He's now admitting that he's ignorant, especially when it comes to political issues, but nevertheless, he's going to say that F the people that try to make you scared. Yes, this is the guy who will literally say he has no clue what he's even talking about. He's not informed enough, but somehow he's informed enough to say F the people that try to make you scared, when he is the one who's been engaging in the fear peddling and the fear mongering. He's been doing so for multiple years. So I wrote this up over at phantompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. And he was asked during a press conference at the Cannes Film Festival for the film Eddington. He was asked a question about whether he was scared about anything being put in his dossier due to the films that he makes that might prevent him from returning to the United States. Total fear-mongering question from this member of the media. It's absolutely ridiculous question, trying to actually plant this idea into people's heads that if you make some film, you might not be allowed back into the United States. It's just utterly ridiculous. There is no evidence of that happening at all. Just despicable on the person even asking the question. What was hilarious, though, is that there was a significant period of silence where no one on the panel wanted to respond. I mean, they were all like looking at each other saying like, I don't want that question. No, you take that question. I don't want that question. And then Pedro decided to break that silence and answer. And he says, I think fear is the way that they win, for one. And so keep telling the stories and keep expressing yourself and keep fighting to be who you are. And I don't know, F the people that try to make you scared, and fight back. And this is a perfect way to do so in telling stories. And don't let them win. Don't let them win. So that is what he said there. What is hilarious is this is the guy who has been literally pushing fear. He's one of the big chief pushers of fear in the media as a celebrity. I mean, we saw this back in 2020, where he compared supporters of President Donald Trump to Nazis and Confederates on his Instagram. We saw him more recently share a New York Times opinion video by Masha Gessing, claiming that the United States was a secret police state. We know that that's just a straight up lie, because if we actually did live in a secret police state, the New York Times opinion wouldn't be publishing a video claiming the U.S. was a secret police state. They would have just carted him off somewhere and not allowed him to even publish that video to Instagram, let alone Pedro Pascal to share it to his Instagram stories. So complete and total lie that Pedro Pascal was pushing there in order to try to stoke fear, make people think that we somehow live in a secret police state, when it just doesn't even pass the sniff test whatsoever. He also bashed J.K. Rowling for defending the truth that sex is binary, following a UK Supreme Court ruling affirming this biological fact. He wrote an Instagram comment on a video slandering her that her behavior was awful, disgusting, crap is exactly right, heinous, loser behavior. So clearly trying to get people to hate on J.K. Rowling and agree with him. That's not good behavior. And it just shows you that this is a guy who is trying to push fear, peddle fear, and engage in that and dupe people with his lies. But what was absolutely hilarious to me about this whole situation is that, like, not even 10 minutes earlier, he was asked a more pointed question about U.S. immigration policy, and he admitted he was not informed enough to provide an answer. This is what he said. He says, it's obviously very scary for an actor who participated in a movie to sort of speak to issues like this. It's far too intimidating a question for me to really address. I'm not informed enough. That's right. He literally admits he's not informed enough. He doesn't know. He is ignorant about the U.S. immigration policy and President Donald Trump and how it's being enforced and enacted and carried out. He doesn't even know what's going on. Yet he had the gall, 10 minutes later, to say this absolute nonsense here about don't let them win. Don't let them win. F the people that try to make you scared. But he says he has no clue what he's even talking about. I'm not informed enough. And if he's not informed enough to talk about U.S. immigration policy, one has to wonder whether any of the other things that he talks about, is he even informed enough to provide an answer. I think it calls into question everything this guy has actually said when it comes to politics. Does he even know what he's talking about? Is he getting paid to say this stuff? I think that definitely begs the question, what are this guy's actual beliefs? Does he believe in any of the stuff he's actually saying? Nevertheless, he went on and said, I want people to be safe and to be protected, and I want very much to live on the right side of history. I really call that into question, too. If he actually wanted to, quote, live on the right side of history, which I know is like a leftist cringe talking point, but if you actually did, you wouldn't be advocating for evil. You wouldn't be advocating for gender ideology, which is evil, that leads to people butchering themselves and self-deletion. You wouldn't be advocating for that. You wouldn't be lying, posting New York Times opinion videos claiming that the United States is a secret police state. If you actually believed in wanting to live on the right side of history, you wouldn't be engaging in things that are clear lies and are evil. You just wouldn't do it. Anyways, he said, and I'm an immigrant. My parents are refugees from Chile. I myself was a refugee. We fled a dictatorship. I was privileged enough to grow up in the U.S. and after asylum in Denmark. And if it weren't for that, I don't know what would have happened to us. And so I stand by those protections always. I'm too afraid of your question. I hardly remember what it was. He's like, admits at the end he doesn't even know what the question was that he's answering. So not only is he not informed enough to answer the question, but he's like, I don't even know what the question is because it's too big of a question and it's too intimidating for me. But this is Pedro Pascal. I'm glad he actually said this. I think a lot of people probably already realized this was the case, me being one of them, obviously. But it's always good to hear it from these people's mouths, hear them actually admit that they have no clue what they are actually talking about. So it's really good to hear them actually admit that. Whether or not he will course correct, doubtful, absolutely doubtful. Guarantee he will continue spouting all kinds of nonsense and engaging in the fear-mongering and showing that he is a total and utter hypocrite. But again, that's not the point. They don't care about the hypocrisy. It's all about spreading the fear, trying to gain power, and then using that power to destroy things. We see this time and time and time again with these actors like Pedro Pascal. But let me know what you guys make of what this guy had to say here. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.
Why would you be afraid of the people? Why are you not afraid of God instead of man?